All right, so we're here with Frith van der Merwe, three-time Comrades winner.
That's correct.
And also the downrun, lady downrun record holder.
That's right. Well, it's 28 years.
Still holding.
Still holding it. Yeah, it's been long, and it's actually, whenever I watch, the children ask me in class, "Ma'am, do you get nervous in case they're going to break your record?" And I do actually, because it's, and I start working out from the beginning of the race, how many,
their pace,
their pace, how they're going, how many minutes, and all of that. And in the end, I've been lucky so far.
Fantastic. And actually, I went down to the Comrades last year, as Kev alluded to earlier, and I'm thinking of doing it next year.
Running?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
so I just have one question to ask. Do I, A, have a screw loose, B, have a death wish, or C, both of the above?
I would say not a death wish. I think every runner that does the Comrades is maybe have a bit of a screw loose, not quite a full box of chocolates. I think you've got it, but mainly you're brave, and it's the most exciting and brilliant event you can ever partake in. You're going to have to put in a lot of training. You'll see your weight's going to drop, and
well, I need that.
And then you get down there and you've trained specifically for this race, and just running it and going through the different places with all their history and achieving that goal and running into the stadium with everyone cheering. I'm telling you, I cried whenever I finished Comrades because I was so emotional. They played the chariots of fire, and it's just knowing that you've achieved that goal, because it's not an easy goal. It's a lot of hard work, dedication, and you have to give up a lot. You can't do the normal things you always did do, and your family as well sacrifice quite a lot too.
Absolutely. And a trick question. If you had to, obviously you're a history teacher, so if you had to pick between a learner going from a C to an A in history or breaking the Comrades downrun record again, which one would you pick?
Say breaking the Comrades again. Achieving, I realised with my matric certificate, it actually doesn't mean that much. It's what you do after matric that's more important. So I think, and Comrades, there is nothing ever that can compare to that. You can go and study and achieve that A at a later stage. You can also go and run Comrades, I suppose, at a later stage, but once you've set your mind to it, best to do it while your mind is there, and you go and achieve that fantastic goal.
Great. And obviously the Comrades is a massive part of your life. Why do you think this event is so important in the South African sport context?
Well, the Comrades really came to a peak during the apartheid years. So an athlete like myself, I could not go and compete overseas and achieve goals there. So the biggest thing to run in South Africa was the Comrades. And it became an institution. Everybody would wake up early the morning of the Comrades, sit in front of their TV with their coffee and rusks and watch it. And then, you might go out and have a few breaks, but at 5 o'clock when that last gun goes off, you were there watching people trying to make it in, and it's almost like a war zone, and achieve that cut-off time. They've made it a bit easier now than when I did it. You've got an extra hour, and it's amazing how many people need that extra hour. But it's a magical event, and just as I said, achieving that goal, and it just means so much. And on the day as well, you make so many friends, because you're all in the same boat and you're going through trials and tribulations. It's really just wonderful. They say every South African should run a Comrades.
Taking notes, Kev. Okay, so tell us about your running beginnings and how you got into the sport.
Well, I first started running at school. At high school, I went to Willamore High, and one day we were forced to run a compulsory cross-country race because they didn't have enough people in the team. And I think that's when I realised I had the talent to run long-distance races. I still tried to get out of it, telling the headmaster I could play a tennis match, and that was more important because at Frith you will run, and I ran it in my tennis dress and tackies, and won the race. And it was from then on, I never looked back. I did well at school. I went into high, and then I went on to Wits University. I represented the university as well, and got my colours at Wits. Then I joined Benoni, came back to Benoni, joined Benoni Northerns, which is a Comrades club.
Absolutely.
And it's so full of spirit and motivation. And I just then ran my first Comrades in 1987.
Seven, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, 7. I finished 6th overall. And I just realised that, if I really had to take this seriously, I could win this race. And Bruce Fordhouse actually saw me after the race because he was at Wits with me, and he said, Frith, you can win this thing.
Wow.
And the next year, 1988, it was another up run, and I won that, and that was sort of the opening. My running just then went from strength to strength, and then in 1989 had that fabulous year when I
absolutely smashed it.
The Comrades and the Two Oceans records, so, and they both still stand. Jeez. You know, and I knew then on that day that my life would change from being a very quiet and introverted Benoni high school teacher, that there was a big wide world out there for me. I then did go overseas and compete in a few races, but my peak was in 1989 with that Comrades. And I still love running. I run every morning. I get up at 4:15, and at 5 o'clock I run because it keeps me sane. It's my time to think. I plan my lessons on the run, and I just deal with all the difficult situations that I might face later on in the day, and it just gives me clarity and it relaxes me, and I feel good. I'm ready to take on whatever the day has to bring.
Endorphins.
That's it. So be careful, you could become addicted.
That magical day in '89, what do you remember from that race? What stands out for you the most?
Well, it was quite a strange day because I was staying with people who worked at the start, and I didn't want to put them to any great amounts of trouble. So I remember the night before the race, they were all so busy working and very, very busy. So they said, what do you want for supper? And I said, I'll have a toasted cheese and tomato. So I had 2 of those, and I had a few glasses of, I still remember, the rosé wine.
Oh,
so I slept really well, got to the start, nice and relaxed, and they took me right to the start. So I started like 2nd or 3rd row from the front, and the whole, you know, I just felt as the run progressed, I felt stronger and stronger, and I got to, like, I remember 32 Ks to go. I thought, I'm still feeling great, and I was waving to the crowds and chatting and all of it, and then the next thing I noticed, I was starting to pass male gold contenders, you know, for a gold, finishing in a gold medal position, top 10 men. And I would like pass them, and I sort of didn't know what to say, like, see you at the end, or you're looking good, whatever, and I just, as I said, felt incredibly good. I ran into the finish, and the Chariots of Fire was playing. I knew I'd broken the record. I was absolutely tearful, and standing at the finish line was my mom, and she just gave me such a big hug, and it was just such a, I felt so gratified because I trained incredibly hard that year, and it was strange because I was actually then in 1989 teaching at Benoni High. And Mr. Lotter, the then principal, had given me extra time to train, you know, and he was just so caring and, you know, willing to assist me in whatever way, you know, he could. And I had a very supportive family as well, so, you know, everything was there in place for me to win. I'd done everything that I had to do to win the race, and the record came as a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the reaction like back home here in Benoni?
Well, it was fantastic. I came back to school here, and they had a special assembly. The government was here as well, and I remember the matric boys still hoisted me on their shoulders and carried me in. So it was a big celebration, and it was great because then after 1989 I finished teaching. I didn't really teach for the next 5 years because I ran full time. However, I've always loved my job, so whenever there was something, you know, available, for example, a lady going off pregnant, I would teach in her place. So I taught at many different schools, and actually even taught from grade 1 to matric. So, yeah, I've enjoyed the balance between having, you know, that running career and a teaching career. I could never just be the one or the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And you obviously, your trademark was the red ribbon.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I always used to, you know, have long hair, and I would tie it back with a ribbon, and people seemed to enjoy that. In fact, I auctioned that red ribbon off for quite a sizable amount at a charity event. So now I cut my hair short. I feel that when ladies get older, they need to have short hair. Makes them look younger.
And where in Benoni do you do your running?
I live in Faramir, so most of my running is in Faramir. I love running along Homestead Dam, and that's probably also why I never set the record at the uprun, because Benoni doesn't have too many hills. So once a week we drive through, like, to Bedford View, and I'd run there to do the hills. So that's another word of advice. Benoni's hills, Kai Road is running downhill to some of those hills you're going to encounter at the Comrades Marathon. So I do most of it in Benoni, and all my running in Benoni, and then I also enjoy running around the bird sanctuary. Love that. I think we actually are blessed in Benoni with the pretty places where we can run.